All right, we're on the 1 inch row. So just to review, we've done our 3, and then we've put in our overlays on our natural stakes, and we've done 1 row of black. Okay, so this is the row that has a decorative tape on it, and what I do, because I don't want to waste any of the tape, I'll measure this dry, just kind of wrap around it, and on this row that you're going to put the tape on, you do not want to get it wet right after that until you apply it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to apply my tape. So what I want to do is put it on the smooth side, and so I'll go ahead and put this on, and I always bring it over a little bit, smooth it down on here, and then I'm just going to dip this really quick in some water to make it supple enough to weave. And I know my measurements are right because I've already done that. So 1 inch can be a little bit cumbersome to weave. Once again, I take a clip to hold that. Okay, and it's just over and under again. So the middle between these 2 pieces of 1 inch, where I'm going to put eventually put my Cherokee wheels, I am going to make in the tie-dye blue, just for a little variation, so it's not all black. I like to outline it black and put some sparkle in the middle. So, and you see this is kind of jumping around a little bit on me, because the reed expands on that tape once you wet it, but you usually kind of muster it through here. It's going to shift a little bit. So see how that's kind of flapping a little bit? And that's just because that reed's expanded. Usually by that time, you're pretty much done. Okay. And usually, I'm pretty generous in my measurement, and I've got some extra, so I'll have to trim some off. So there's that first stake, and remember I want to count back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yep, I've got a little bit too much, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, pull that down a little bit. So, now actually I've trimmed that back up so that's not showing. My next row is going to be one of these in the center, and then a black. Alright, I've started doing my tie-dye work. Let's review again. I've done my 3. I put my overlays on. There's a row of black. Here's my row with the decorative tape. Here is my row with the tie-dye once again, and the natural. Another row of black, and now I'm going to finish this up with this tie-dye blue, but this is what I want to show you. Your basket needs to be about, when it's done, about 10 inches in height. So what I do is I put these handles in early, and I put them in on a dyed stake, and then just find one across. So I'm going to measure from that notch, which is about right there, and that's 9. So I'll pull that up a little bit as I go. I want that notch in the handle, right there at 10 inches. And I can pull that up a lot easier than I can try to shove it down. So all those baskets that you saw where they said, weave it up and then insert the handle, I say, don't do that. It's a pain trying to shove that down in a wet basket. I say, figure out what height it ends up at, put it in there and then just lift it up as you go and weave it as a part of the basket. You're guaranteed it's going to fit. The shape, your shape is right on because of the handle has shown you where it's supposed to be, and it's a lot easier than trying to shove it down in there. So I'm going to keep weaving this up, and then we'll do the cut and tuck. All right, let's review just a little bit here. So I've gone up with that tie-dye indigo blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows, and then this is a 1/2 inch. And the thing I want to show you is, remember I put these in early and then I just start measuring. I want that 1/2 inch false rim right in that notch, and then this kind of gets in the way. So what I do is I would cut and tuck it early. So I've got this wet, bent down, and I'm going to cut it or tuck it back in here so it's out of my way. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut and tuck. First of all, I need to spray, and if you look at this, and I'm always doing this on my basket, I want it to be about 10 inches in that rim, and it is just about 10 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut and tuck, get it wet first. And I'll just do a couple here and show you how I did the ones inside here. Get them wet, bend them over. You're going to tuck, then cut it at an angle. Use your weave right. And tuck it in there. Okay. So in this case, the naturals are going to get cut flush. Always pull them down a little bit, so I don't want them sticking up on me. These guys are going to get wet. Bend it over, trim it up, because nobody likes to cut and tuck for very long, so like the length of your finger. And I'm just going to do one here, and then we'll rim all the way around. Cut and tuck all the way around, and then we'll rim, but I won't bore you with the process. Okay, so cut and tuck all the way around, and then we're going to put the rim on. I'm ready to start my lashing. So what I've done is I've put on the rim inside and outside, and then this is my rim filler, that number 8 blue, kind of pulls it all together. So I want to show you how I start my lashing. Everybody has a different way. This is just mine. There is no right way. It's just whatever suits you. So what I do is I look for a stake that I haven't tucked on, and I've tucked on the dyed ones. So I want a white one. And what I'm going to do is just kind of, and just as some people do this, some don't. I use tie wraps and go around about every 3rd stake to kind of sandwich everything together before I lash. And as I come around to these, then I'll get rid of them. So I'm just going to kind of open this up a little bit and slip this down through here. And what I want to do is go down underneath that first row of weaving, if I can get that up a little bit. So I want to go down underneath it. And you can go down 2 if you want, but you don't really need to. And then, because I'm going to end on this same stake, I pull it all the way over to the right. And then what I want to do is pull this down a little bit, and then fold it over on itself and pull it back up, so that I've got just a little bit of a nib hanging there. Okay, and then I'll trim that off. So then I'm ready to go. So I'm going to lash on the side of each stake, and I'm only going to do 3 of these because it's a pretty boring to watch process. So when I come to my end, and you want a relatively long weaver to lash with, you can always start this process over, but I think it's looks nicer if you just have one long piece. Like I say, it's not a big deal to have 2 pieces and then just do this process over. So So you want to be careful not to turn your lasher. Let's see, so I'm going to hold that tight. And then with this guy then, I'll just get rid of him. He has done his job and away he goes. That's that little bit of a nib that I'm going to trim up later. And then I go to my next one. And so what you do when you're lashing is you got to kind of feed this back out to make sure it doesn't have any twists in it, because you don't want to have twists in your lasher. Okay? And if you don't have enough room there, take your weave right, open it up a little bit, thread it through. Now one of the things you can do to make sure it stays tight is you can take a clip and just have that on there and have it follow you behind, so that way you're not tight or losing the tightness that you've already gained as you do the next one. See, so it's kind of loopy. I want to make sure before I pull it that it's right, then pull it tight. You hear that squeak and pain I always tell people? You know you're doing it right. So I'm going to do one more lasher and I'll finish off this basket. And then we will go to the Cherokee wheels that are going to go around down here. So once again, I make sure that I don't have any twists in it. I'm going to open this up with my weave right. Put that through, pull it, and there we go, we're on to the next one.